Hello there, welcome to Yin. Thanks for joining. Tonight we are working mainly on the spine. We'll be doing Yin poses that actually stretch the hips, but we'll be working the spine in the 6 different ways it can move. So there'll be lateral flexion, so side flexion, there'll be rotating the spine, there'll be forward flexion and back extension. So to get us into the back extension, tonight I've got a cushion off my sofa. So when I lean back, I will be resting on that. So it's a bit bigger than the normal blanket or block that we have. So if you've got a cushion handy, take that for, because we'll finish off on each pose, we'll be finishing off with the back extension. Also maybe have a blanket or two, maybe to rest your head or to pad out the ankles or the knees. So those are there if you need them. Okay, so we're going to start tonight in butterfly. So I'm going to have my cushion just behind me, ready, because I can also perch on the cushion, which will help to elevate my hips forward. So probably going to do each version for about, because we're doing the side bend, we're doing each one for about a minute, and then we'll go forward for a couple of minutes and we'll go back for a couple of minutes as well. So you'll need to make sure you're comfortable, you know, with each one that we generally say anyway. So first of all, we're bringing our bottom to rest on your cushion or blankets and the soles of the feet together. So first of all, we're coming into what we call the side flexion. So if you take your left hand out to the side and then stretch your right fingertips over to the left. You can either look under your right armpit or you can just look forward, whatever feels good for your neck. If you want to, and you're quite flexible, you can bring your left elbow to the floor, but try to remember we're trying to stretch up the right hand side of the body. So it's not how low you bring your elbow to the floor, it's just if it feels more comfortable. So keep stretching those right fingertips over to your left. Make sure your neck feels okay. Soles of the feet are together, knees out to the side. And just a couple more breaths here. And pressing into your left hand, we're lifting up and then we're changing sides. So right hand to the floor, left fingertips stretching as much as you can over to your right hand side. Again, if it feels more comfortable, you can bring your right elbow down. You could even rest your left hand on your head if you want to, just wherever that left hand wants to rest, or even behind your back, sort of resting on your lower back even, or you could even give yourself a half Nelson by trying to reach your left fingertips up towards your neck or the back of your head. Now pressing up slowly, then we come into the butterfly with the twist. So sitting up tall always before we go into any twist. So we're trying to lift up the front and the back of the body. Then left hand comes outside the right knee and we take the right hand behind. We're just pressing into that right hand, trying to gently rotate the tummy and the chest and the shoulders. The face can look to your right hand side or it can look over your right shoulder. slowly untwist, keeping your spine long, and then we change to the left. So right hand outside the left knee, left hand behind, just really trying to gently rotate as much as you can towards the left. Slowly coming back forwards, then we're walking the hands forwards. Now we're doing the flexion of the spine, so allowing the spine to round. And here, if you wanted to, you could get your blankets. We're staying here for a bit longer, so if you want, you can bring the blankets between your feet and rest your hands on your blanket and let the crown of the head either just release down. You can take your feet a little bit more forward if you want to, if it's a bit intense on the inner thighs. What you don't want to feel is any kind of sharp sensations in the back or any pain in the knees. If you've got pain in your knees, what you would do is wrap your blanket around the knees or place a blanket to support underneath the knees. Pressing up slowly, then we're coming into the back extension, so kind of bringing our bottom off the cushion and releasing back. So reclining butterfly, but got the chest lifted, so we can take the arms out to the side and feel that chest opening and slight extension in the back while still opening the hips. So staying here for 6 deep breaths. Focus on making your inhale as deep as you can and your exhale and deep as smooth as you can. Slowly bringing our knees back together and easing up slowly, thinking of the rebound. So notice what's happening in the body as we come out of the butterfly pose. So just to counter effect, working our hips now internally and externally. So feet apart and knees apart, hands out to the side. So knees to one side, knees to the other. Notice where you feel the most sensation, which area of the body is calling out to you. and we're coming into the next pose, which is half shoelace. So this one, as we flex forward, which we will do, it's more a stretch for your hamstrings, but still stretching your hips. So again, you can perch on your block or cushion to give you that lift. So extending your left foot out, and first of all drawing your right foot over your left knee. So as we go into the twist here, we want to be maybe a bit young as we try to hug that right knee in towards your left shoulder, but we're sitting up tall as we do the rotation first. So if you hug that right knee into your left shoulder and bring your right hand behind, you should feel a nice stretch in your outer right hip. It might be just enough to, first of all, sit up as tall as you can and draw your right thigh into your chest. And that might be enough stretch. And then add the rotation for about 6 breaths. So here, just now drawing your left elbow over your right knee, and then that might help you to get a bit more of a rotation of the spine, bringing the chest to the right a little bit more, maybe really trying to draw that, even the left shoulder over the right knee, but all the time trying to keep the spine long. Slowly unhook that left elbow, sitting up tall again, and then we'll go into the side bends. So if it feels okay, we can bring the right knee so it's in line with the left knee, or just keep that right foot pressing into the floor. If your right knee's in line with your left knee, your right foot will be near your left hip. So we're just now pressing the left hand out to the side, stretching the right fingertips over to the left. Try not to collapse over to your left, try to keep the body still long. And the right fingertips are kind of stretching up towards the corner of the room, but stretching over to your left as well. Press into your left hand, and then we'll change to the right. So right hand presses in, left hand stretches up to the ceiling, and also a bit over to the right. Pressing into the right hand as we lift back up. Then we're going to come forward over that right knee slowly. So we don't want to come forward fast because it's putting too much pressure on the knees. So slowly come forward. And again, you've got blankets. You can rest your head on the blanket if it's high enough, or hands on the blanket. Just try not to put too much pressure on the knee if you're noticing any pressure in the knee. If the left knee doesn't feel comfortable, you can bring your hands or a blanket under that left knee. So the main thing here we want to feel is a stretch on the hamstrings. You might feel a stretch on your lower back. We're going to hold for about 2 minutes. pressing into the hands to lift up slowly, and then we're going into that back extension. So you can either lie back over your block or cushion with the knee in the same place, or you can bring the right foot so it's by the right hip. So this is that half saddle. You might be leaning a bit over to the left here, so if you are, bring a blanket underneath your left glute or your left butt cheek. We're going to come out of the back extension slowly, so lifting up, maybe pressing the hands in or stretching your right foot forward, then lifting up nice and slowly. Again, working on those windshield wipers. Feet are apart, knees are apart, knees down to one side. And the other, just going at your own pace, noticing where the sensations are now as we work on internal and external rotation of our hips. Now going to the opposite side for half shoelace. So perching again if you want to on the block or cushion. Now the left foot over the right knee first of all, sitting up tall, seeing if we can hug the left knee towards the left shoulder before we go into the rotation, sitting up as tall as we can. And we're just first of all aiming for a stretch in the outer left hip. So I can't feel it as much this side as my right side. You might or you might not. And then if we want to go further, we bring the left hand behind and try and draw the chest round to the left hand side, the face to the left hand side. Maybe we can bring the shoulders in line with each other. Maybe we can bring, instead of hugging the left knee into the right shoulder, maybe draw the right shoulder outside the left thigh, which will help us to draw ourselves a bit further to the left. And about 6 breaths. Coming slowly back to the centre. And we're going to the lateral stretches. So if you can keep the foot where it is outside the right knee, or you can bring your foot so it's by the right hip. We'll go to our right hand side for the lateral stretch. So right hand out to the side, and stretching the left fingertips over to the left. Can bring the right elbow down. Maybe it makes the stretch a bit more intense. You can rest your left hand on your head if you want to. Into the right elbow as we lift up, and then change to the left hand to the left side, or the left elbow, stretching up the right fingertips all the way up to the ceiling and then over to the left. Slowly lift up, then we come forward. If you've got your blankets, you can rest them on the top knee, and rest your head on the blanket. So deep stretch for the hamstring here, the right hamstrings. And we'll hold for 2 minutes. So again, focus on breathing as deeply as you can and as smoothly as you can, to work on our rest and digest system here. If you breathe deeply, notice again where you're feeling sensations, where you're feeling tension. Maybe after a few more breaths you might notice that the tension isn't there as much.